How do adverse childhood experiences impact your personal life, your work life, your family life, and those around you?
Well, there are really two questions there, it seems to me. One is, in what way do they manifest themselves? And then the other is, well, how does that manifestation come about? They manifest themselves in people's emotional state. They manifest themselves in terms of biomedical disease, and they manifest themselves in terms of longevity, in other words, premature death.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why does that happen? How does that come about? In terms of affecting one's emotional state, well, that's fairly easy. I think everybody would understand that. In terms of how does that bring about biomedical disease, well, that's an interesting and somewhat complex issue. The major piece of it comes about through various coping mechanisms that we put into place unconsciously to feel better. Okay, eating is a good one. Sit down, have something to eat, you'll feel better. Okay, well, some people have a great need to feel better, and eating helps. Sit down, have a smoke, relax. Well, nicotine has psychoactive benefits. It's got major risks 20, 30 years away. Psychoactive benefits, it has anti-anxiety activity within 20 or 30 seconds of inhalation, anger suppressant activity. American Indians did smoke tobacco leaves in their peace pipe, not oak leaves or moss. It suppresses appetite and allows weight gain to be more likely to occur. So those are the short-term benefits of smoking. Alcohol, similar idea. Sit down, have a drink, relax. Okay? Street drugs. Well, that's a good example. The most common street drug is crystal meth. Everybody's heard of it. People die of crystal meth. What people don't know is that crystal meth is the street name for the first successful prescription antidepressant introduced in the United States in 1942, methamphetamine. But isn't it dangerous? Yes, well, if you're using a medication and have no idea of dosage, yes, anything can be dangerous. I mean, 2 aspirins is safe. 30 is a suicidal dose. You decide to double your dose of digitalis, thinking, well, I'll do better if I take more. Well, you're likely to be dead in about 2 weeks. So dosage is a critical kind of thing. And when you're buying street drugs, you don't know what the dosage is, nor do you know its purity or, what contaminants are in it, etc.
And for parents, it's easier to explain that your kid is addicted to crystal meth than it is to explain the underlying condition of my kid's depressed and needs an antidepressant.
Absolutely. I mean, it's easy to say, my kid's on that damn crystal meth because it's a dealer on the block, than to say my kid's buying antidepressants on the street, which might trigger the response. Really? Why? Not a comfortable question to have to ask, to have to face.
Right, because then the parents would have to explain why their kid's so depressed, which would take them back to the adverse childhood experiences and the family situation. So it's easy to just say, oh, my kid's addicted to a street drug.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But there's actually reasons for that.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that we learned in the obesity program that led us into these other issues is that there's a major public health paradox. Namely, that our most difficult and intractable public health problems are indeed that from a societal standpoint, but from the individual standpoint are often unconscious attempts at a solution to problems that are totally unrecognized. Okay?
Right. So this helps explain why most addictions programs have such a high relapse or recidivism and not much success.
Because you're attempting to take someone's solution away to problems that you don't even know exist.
And why most weight loss programs don't work, because they're taking the solution away and not getting to the underlying issues, the ACEs, the mental health issues.
Yeah, well, a memorable comment from a patient in the early days of the program. We're going through her life history with her, and she tells me at 25 she was raped, and in the year subsequent gained 105 pounds. Then she makes the statement, overweight is overlooked, and that's the way I need to be. Wow, wow. My ears and eyes are opening. You mean being fat is beneficial? Absolutely. I remember we had two men in the weight program who were guards at the state penitentiary downtown. One lost 100, one lost 150 pounds. They were both very clear. They were no longer comfortable going into the prisoner cell blocks normal size. Mm-hmm. They felt a hell of a lot better going in looking big as a refrigerator. And then you think of our expression, throwing your weight around. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. The beginning of an insight that what we perceive as the problem is that from a societal standpoint, but from the patient's standpoint is often an unconscious solution to problems that are concealed.
Right. So to get beyond that solution of drinking or drugs or food or smoking, we're talking about facilitating their internal abilities to get to the root causes, the underlying issues, and then resolve those issues.
Yes.
So there'll be less of a need to do the drugs or to do the drinking or overeating. So you found a solution with your alcohol, with your drugs, with your food. You know what? There are actually better solutions that are within your reach, and you just have to resolve these underlying issues. Is that a relief, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.